Hello, 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 hello. Hello, and welcome to Grade 8 Natural Sciences, Term 2, 2020. Grade 8, you are as important as matrix. So we are going to learn during this holiday. No playing. Okay, now, last term, that was cut a little bit short, we were looking at a very interesting topic, which is life and living. Okay, so I want you to understand one thing before we start with the lesson, that natural sciences is divided into three components or facets. Okay, we have biology, we have chemistry, and a little bit of physics. Okay, so during the course of first term, we were looking at life and living, which is biology. It was very interesting because we looked at the environment, we looked at the ecosystems, the interaction in the ecosystem, the interaction that exists among us, the organisms. We also learned about photosynthesis and respiration. It was quite interesting because we actually used our own experiences during that course, and there are other terms that were brand new that came up, and we were familiar with most of the things because we experienced them during our daily lives. Okay, now, so that was biology for term 1. Now we are going into chemistry term 2. Okay, so our topic for this term, our first topic for our lesson 1 is matter and material. Okay, matter and material. Now, does this send some panic? No, it's not supposed to send any shock waves in your body. Okay, now, if you remember very well, we spoke about organisms, we spoke about objects. Okay, we looked at the biotic factors and abiotic factors during our life and living topic last term. Now, when you look at an organism or an object, okay, you need to understand that organism is actually made up of something. That is obvious. Okay, when you look at the soil or probably the air, you will find out that it is actually made up of something. And that something that we are talking about is actually the matter. Okay, now matter is actually the particles, okay? The particles that makes up an object or an organism. Okay, now these small particles, they have a very, very special name, and they are known as atoms. Okay, now these atoms, they exist, and we cannot actually see them to say this is actually an atom. Okay, we don't really see them, but we know that they are the ones that makes up an object. And these atoms, they are the ones that form what is known as elements. Okay, now elements are actually made up, they are made up of atoms of the same kind. Alright, now they are made up of the atoms of the same kind. What am I talking about here? I'm going to give you an example of copper wire, the one that is used for electricity. Okay, now the copper wire is made up of the copper, which is the same atoms. Now those same atoms, you cannot even separate them. Okay, they cannot be separated by any chemical reaction. Okay, they cannot be separated by any chemical reaction. Chemical reaction. Okay, because they are very much identical. Okay, they are bonded together. They are very much identical, and there is nothing that can actually separate them. So those are elements. Now we're going to look at these atoms. Okay, like I said to you that these elements, they are made up of the atoms of the same kind. Now I want to take a broader look at the atoms. Now what is these atoms? What are they made up of? Okay, now atoms, they are made up of what is known as the neutrons. Okay, they are made up of protons. They are made up of electrons. Now, the neutrons and the protons and the electrons are the ones that makes up these atoms. Now, I'm going to give you a clear picture of how they really look like. Okay, now you need to understand, like I told you, that we cannot see these atoms. But these atoms, they have what is known as the nucleus, which is the central part. And that nucleus, that is where we find our neutrons and protons. Okay, so they look like this. Okay, we have our our nucleus. Okay, that is made up of the protons, which are positively charged, and also neutrons that are negatively charged. And around them we have what is known as the energy levels. And on the energy levels, that is where we find our electrons that are negatively charged. Okay, so here we have our protons. Okay, and then we have our neutrons. Sorry, we have our neutrons, and these, they are known as nucleons. Why? Because they are found in the nucleus of an atom, and they are the ones that actually gives the mass of the atom. Remember, the atom has got the weight, okay, which is known as the mass. Okay, and lastly, we have our electrons. Okay, so this is the structure of the atom. Okay, so remember what I've said in the beginning, okay, that all that we have here on earth is made up of matter. And that matter is actually made up of very small particles that are known as the atoms. And these atoms, they are the ones that form what is known as the elements. And this is the structure of the atom. The atom is made up of neutrons. They do not have a charge. Protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. So I am going to end here. Okay, it's not a very big deal. Okay, we are still talking about the soil, we are still talking about the water, we are still talking about the air. It is only now that we are looking at the chemical part of these objects or of these organisms that we have been discussed in our life and living. Okay, so I want you to take a lot of care, okay, and you can even ask yourself some questions. Okay, now that that lady has spoken about the matter, what is matter? Okay, she's spoken about atoms. What are atoms? She's spoken about elements. Okay, what are those elements? Oh, there was another diagram that was drawn there. It is a diagram of an atom. Okay, the atom has got a nucleus, okay, and then in the nucleus, what is it that I find in the nucleus? Okay, and what is it that I found outside the nucleus? And that is how you wrap up, that is how you study. Whenever you sit in a lesson and you hear, try to come up with a summary of what has been said. Okay, so with that, I want you to stay safe, and please do not forget to read your book, because natural sciences, we get our ball rolling. So it's cheers for now.